What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We'll wait for everyone to get in here and get it going. Talk some MLB Home Run Derby. Look at some props. Kind of look at the overall and talk about kind of what we have going on in the markets for the Derby. One of my favorite events to bet in all of sports. So we'll wait for a few people to get their notifications, and then we will go on and get live and get going. And I will be setting the link in the Discord. So if you guys welcome in, everyone. Get those thumbs up. Let's talk some Home Run Derby props, and we'll look into kind of what we have going on in tonight's event. One of my favorite events to bet in the entire sports betting world, just to put it bluntly. And I'll tell you guys one of my worst bad beats as well in the history of probably ever. I probably would say that. So we'll touch upon that and we'll get down into it. Okay. So let's keep it open. We'll wait for a few more people to get in here, and then we'll get down into it. Okay. We'll use DraftKings, by the way, for those of you that do not use DraftKings. It still will give us the odds that we need. So we'll do that as we navigate it. So we have 12 people in the house. I will wait a little bit longer, and that's why I'm doing this. We'll kind of wait for some more people to get in here before we get going into it. Hit those like buttons, guys. Get those thumbs up. YouTube will send this out. Also, let's get the comments going. Let me know who's in the house. We do get the best lyrics in music. And Avery, what's going on, man? Yeah, there will be a lot of these on Fanatics as well. I'm not going to show every book, but the ones we're talking about, let me know as we keep going and kind of if you guys are able to see it or not on your end or whatever book you're using. So a little pop-up live stream. Sometimes it takes a while for YouTube to let people know that we are live. The only thing that you guys can do to help this is hit those thumbs up. If you guys hit the like button, it does let the world know that we are live. Bango Chea, what's happening, man? Forgive me if that's not how you pronounce your name. To Cody, Heard O'Neill is hurt. Uh-oh. We're going to have to look at that. That's going to kind of ruin my video in a way. What kind of hurt do we got? Do you guys got any insight on that? Please feel free to let me know. That's news to my ears. I'm going to have to do a quick search on that on X. O'Neill Cruz hurt. Where are you getting that info? John, what's up, man? I'm not seeing anywhere that he is hurt, so please let me know where you're getting that info. There we go, yeah. And there are some changes to this game or this event, as we've seen every year. It seems like they keep reinventing the wheel when it comes to the Derby. Yeah, I'm not really seeing O'Neill Cruz hurt, so I apologize. Kind of interesting the way this event does work out because we don't always get hip flexor. Okay. Is he still going to play? Yeah, I wonder if he's still gonna go and suit up. I know that Acuna is out. Yeah, so they will avoid those bets, but we're still gonna make them. I think that's something where I'll talk about kind of where we're looking into this. Kind of interesting, kind of a field where if Cal Raleigh wasn't leading the charge in the MLB with the most home runs, honestly, I probably wouldn't even be excited about this, but I am excited to see him play. I'm kind of happy he's playing. I heard that his dad's throwing them, so that's going to be kind of cool. But I think that this is going to set up for some potential, especially because we are in Atlanta. It's going to be hot, 90 plus. It's going to be humid. And also, this ballpark does benefit lefties. So targeting some of the left-handed bats in this field, I think will prove to be a little advantageous. We don't have a lot of guys too crazy oppo power, such as, Stanton's not playing, Judge isn't playing. So there's some guys that do go the other way that traditionally we would kind of not really care about which side of the park is more advantageous, but definitely has an edge towards left-handers in this spot. So kind of reading something real quick about that injury. Okay, so we'll get it going. Apparently everybody's working at 3:00 on a Monday. Who does that? But let's talk about kind of what we have going on. Okay, so Matt Olson will be the new addition to the field as you look at kind of the replacement for Acuna. Also, we will have some changes within the Derby. Okay, so the first round, the best change I think is it's going to take the top 4 hitters of the Derby. All right, it's not going to just there's not going to be a bracket per se. So the top 4 advance, and I think that's a great format. Okay, we've seen a lot of hitters get edged out in this contest for that should have won it. They just had a bad round. Okay, John, I'll get into kind of the bets and kind of where I'm at. Just let me get going here. The one thing I will tell you is, like I said, a little bit dominant towards the lefties in this park. We want to talk about the pitches earlier on. They will be. It will be a timed round, and then the later rounds, I think they do get more. It's just based on pitch or based on pitches or outs. I don't know if it's going to be pitches or outs, but it goes away from that. Let's see how many swings we can get in a time allotment. Okay. Also, they will be doing the bonus balls over 425 feet. That's going to be something advantageous for a couple people in the field. And I do want to kind of put it out there that, you talk about Cal Raleigh leading the MLB, kind of worried that he has a chance at Bonds, and I'm kind of worried that he is going to screw himself up after you play in a home run derby. Not a lot of people have the best luck bouncing back into form, so you do have a potential for a slump resulting from the All-Star break. At least with the long ball, I just think it kind of throws you off your rhythm personally. But I think that a couple of the young players we're going to talk about, okay, and I'll talk about who I'm fading as we look at the DraftKings odds right here. And I'm just going to get through this. We're not going to go for too long, right? This will be a quicker live stream because there's not really too much to talk about, and nobody's really joined in yet. So, but I will talk about it. Cal Raleigh, first and foremost, I'm going to be fading him. Not so much because I don't like him, but because I just don't like his pitcher. Okay, his old man's throwing to him. That's awesome, but we've seen this before. People use like these ceremonial tossers, and it's just different. BP pitcher makes a huge difference, no matter how good of a home run hitter you are, how much power you have. It's just kind of how I feel about it. So I'm just going to kind of cross him off. And at sub $3, I'm not really too interested in betting him at all. Anyways, this is more so for a long shot run, and that's kind of what we're going to be targeting. Also, I do want to kind of give light to the worst beat I've ever had, pretty much. One of the worst beats I've ever had in sports betting. I had Pujols to get beat, and it was like some parlay I put together within advancing first-round winners. And long story short, I can't remember it was the guy he was facing, or maybe I bet on Pujols. I can't remember. Anyways, they hit a home run. They didn't count the home run. Okay. They didn't count the home run. And I think Pujols ended up advancing or not advancing. I can't remember which way I was on. But anyways, just showing you that the scoring is so subjective in these events. It was Pujols like last hurrah. And I don't know if I needed him to hit that home run or if I needed him not to hit it. I can't remember. It was a couple years back. But anyways, he did basically hit one and they didn't count it. So that was very unfortunate. But as we look at these odds, I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm basically taking Cal Raleigh out of the equation. To advance, possibly, sure, I could get down with that, but I just wouldn't bet him to win it personally. If he wins it, great. I'm not going to go after a home run market at sub $3. The one bet I do really like outside of, you guys told me about the hip flexor, so that's news to my ears, but I don't mind Matt Olson at home, okay, at 8-1. I think that's worth a stab, personally. These are all basically coin flips, lottery tickets. It's really indicative of just kind of how they are that day. It's a contest. This isn't something that you can handicap to down to a science. But we're going to go with all lefties. And O'Neill Cruz, Matt Olson, and James Wood, I definitely have at the top of my list without, having Raleigh in the mix. Jazz Chisholm at 12-1. I'm going to fade it. I just don't think he'll have the stamina and or the power to compete. Possibly it's going to be more so like how we saw, Jose Ramirez had a good showing, just not enough to win it. Okay, I think he could do. I think he can advance. I don't think he'll have enough steam to win it. And that's kind of where I'm left with the long shot coming out from the right side of the plate. It would be Byron Buxton at 9-1. Okay. But outside of that, I'm not going to be targeting Brent Rooker. It's going to be O'Neill Cruz, James Wood, Olson, Buxton, and Caminero is going to be your long shot. Okay. He has extreme power. He's a younger player. He's going to have that steam that you're going to look for. And the one thing about him is, as we talk about Caminero, it's the best odds, okay, 12-1. And I think that's something where you can even get into some of the bets where you name the finalists. You could potentially look for some value taking Caminero, and you can partner him with, Olson. You can partner him with James Wood. You can partner him with, O'Neill Cruz, and you can get some really insane value. Even if you don't name who's going to win it, just that finalist, I think is very, very interesting, okay? And I'm very upset if my bet is taken off of this board, but there was something I do have a little free play boost that I'm going to be making. And yeah, so you can do this. Okay. So this is the name, the finalist, where you do the exacta. Wood Cruz at 12-1 does catch my eye. Caminero, if you do want to go down the board, you can go, I think that's kind of where I would lean to. If you look for Wood Caminero at 28-1, if you look for Caminero and Olson, Caminero, and O'Neill Cruz, I like those kind of mix-ups, if you will. Those are a way to get value. Okay, but that's just kind of how I would target those few players. The totals, don't really want to get involved with this. I don't like the format. There's no really recency to kind of look into this. Potentially most home runs by any player in round one going under 25.5. I think that could be very much a sharper play. I'm not going to like it. The over half swing off at plus 280. That's a fun bet. I think I like that one a little bit. Okay. Moving on. This is where we're going to look for players to hit most home runs in round one. So I would definitely go younger. I think O'Neill Cruz, if he was healthy. I think Wood at 5-1. Also, I think Olson will have that familiarity playing in his home field at 750. I'm just staying away from Cal Raleigh. It's just kind of process elimination. You got to narrow your board. I think that's kind of where I would do it, especially with such low odds. Not saying he's not going to win it. It's just at the odds, I'm looking for value elsewhere. Okay, so if he's a favorite for a reason, but at that number, I'm looking for value elsewhere. If I lose my bets, I lose my bets. Okay. This is kind of interesting. If you want to parlay the 15 plus home runs with a few people, I think they'll let you do that. That's potentially where I would look into, doing a Cal Raleigh with 20, And then I would do James Wood with 20, and you can kind of find that. They won't let you parlay that, so never mind. DraftKings does sometimes let you parlay these. Okay, this is a fun one. This is, I think, what I had with the Pujols thing. Okay. Yeah, quite frankly, I don't really like a lot of these so far. James Wood plus 120 over Cal Raleigh, most home runs. I kind of think that one stands out a little bit. Exit velocity is great. I just sometimes think that, you don't really need you don't get too many brownie points, and sometimes you can tie yourself by hitting the ball too far. So yes, that's kind of what stands out to me about Cal Raleigh a little bit more so too. But that's kind of not what I would go into. These are just all very much guesses. I was looking for somebody against O'Neal Cruz, but I can't find it. Yeah, so Cal Raleigh versus O'Neal Cruz, minus 130. That's kind of juicy. But I was looking for the James Wood versus O'Neal Cruz, and I would potentially go James Wood plus 100 over O'Neal Cruz. That's just where I stand, okay? Round one, longest home run. That's very easy. You're going to have heavy favorites to O'Neal Cruz and the likes of James Wood. And if you want to kind of find one, I think you can find this one here. Yeah, plus 140, James Wood. I think that's a very fair proposition, okay? Because we're going to kind of get into the distance, okay? And they took off my bet, and I'm kind of upset. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is the bet that I do like, okay? This is the bet that I'm going to be taking a pizza money bet on this, okay? I'm going to be taking a pizza money bet on this. And if it hits, it hits. Great. I think we have optimal field conditions, weather conditions, the Derby distance record to be broken. Okay. That's where I'm going to look at it. All right. So in trivia question, who is the person who holds that record? I'll give you a hint. He's a lefty. If you guys know that, drop it in the chat. And that's kind of where I'm going to lead into the yes. Okay. At 20-1, I have a 50% home run derby boost on DraftKings. I'm going to put a little pizza money bet on it, just like 20, 25 bucks, whatever they max me out on. And I'm going to be taking the yes, because I think that O'Neal Cruz, James Wood, they have a shot. And if the ball's flying, we get a little bit of a wind gust. There you go, Slime. It's soda. Okay. You guys know your stuff. Anyways, I think if we get some optimal conditions like we're going to have, hey, for a pizza money bet at 30-1, if you use that boost, that's a bet I'm willing to take. Okay, so I will be making that just for fun, not expecting to win it, but it's going to be a fun bet. If they get behind one, you just quite frankly never know. All right, and that's something where you look into kind of what we've seen, and the way that I want to tell you the numbers. Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, James Wood can definitely hit a 500-foot home run. So what's an extra 20 feet between friends? So that's kind of where I look for James Wood to have a shot. Byron Buxton, I think Byron Buxton has a little bit more power than people do believe. And I think that between Cruz, Buxton, and James Wood, one of them will hit a home run over 500 feet. Okay. So with that being said, I will be taking the home run derby distance record to be broken at 521 and above. Okay. And who knows, the MLB could do some bonehead thing. They could juice the balls because the field's down, try to get views. So then that way, obviously that will get shattered. But that's kind of my pizza money bet. If you guys want to tail me on that, it's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But I will have a little bit of a sprinkle on that. Okay. I also kind of like the over 479.5 longest distance of any player at minus 120. That's a bet that's kind of almost a given. I love this bet. I'm taking that. You watch, we'll probably have the top home run distance at 479 even, and we won't get over the 479.5, and we'll lose that. The books are crooked, so you never know. But that's kind of where I'm at. So I will be playing the longest distance props. Okay. Also, I think a fair way to bet the Cal Raleigh kind of hedge, if you will. And it doesn't really give you too much of an advantage, but you get Buxton and you get Cal Raleigh and Caminero you do get as well, just not O'Neill Cruz and James Wood. Take the American League at minus 130. Okay. I think you get a lot more value. Not saying if I would have tell you my two favorite players in this derby, they're all from the NL. It's Wood and Cruz. But I think you get way more value betting the American League at minus 130. So that's another bet I like at kind of just even odds almost with just minimal juice. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take the American League. I'm going to take the over feet. I'm going to take a home run bet with the record to be broken. A little pizza money on that one. And that's going to be kind of where I'm at. I also do like the 20 over 20.5 for Wood. And I do like the over 18.5 for Olsen at minus 120. Okay. So those are kind of my 2 round 1 bets I do like. And if you talk about kind of the overall, I don't really see any value in betting this straight up unless you're going for a lottery play. So that's what I'm talking about doing, exactas. Okay. So give me like exact matchups of the finals. All right. So give me Wood Cruz, give me Wood Olsen, stuff like that. Caminero is where you get your value. So if you want to do like a Caminero Olsen parlay, I think that might show it and it won't let me do that. So you'd have to go to the finalists and you can kind of see the exactas. You'd get, yeah, Caminero versus Olsen pays 28-1. I don't really like those odds personally. The odds have went down substantially, but I'm going to be crossing off, just so you guys know, from my process elimination. I'm getting rid of Raleigh. I'm getting rid of Rooker. And getting rid of Chisholm, okay? And so for me, it's going to be essentially a 5-man field. It's Wood, Cruz, Olsen, Buxton, and Caminero. So kind of like a 20% coin flip, if you will, okay? Favor the lefties. Buxton's the sleeper. He has extreme power, and I think that we will see some kind of fireworks here as the MLB might look for some ratings and juice up these balls for the event. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to sign off here, but if you guys have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you all for tuning into the live stream. If you have not done so by now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I'll leave the chat open for a little bit before I sign off. Yeah, Ed, I don't mind it. So I'm not all in on him, but he's kind of the righty I like, and he's also just kind of, I think, the sleeper. So anyways, I'll see you guys all over the Discord. If you aren't a member of the Discord, it's completely free. I am rolling out a WAP site with some premium content, and we'll kind of streamline that after the All-Star break, before football season. So we're going to kind of change things up on how picks are delivered and some premium content for you guys. But yeah, it's been a great run. 11-2. Last 3 or 4 days, we did give out picks. So let's keep it rolling through the break. Yeah, I like Olsen. I like all the lefties. And like I said, I think his odds at 8-1 are kind of, he's a little bit more so a line drive hitter. Worry about his fatigue a little bit. But I think that him being at home, 8-1, why not? Okay. Like I said, guys, I've reduced the field to Wood, Cruz, unless he's hurt, Olsen, Buxton, and Caminero. I would love to see Cruz get eliminated. However, if you do find the exit velocity bet, and that's kind of where I don't know if they even have it anymore. If you guys find that, please message me, because it was on DraftKings. The hardest hit ball was on here earlier, and I can't find it anymore. So if you guys are looking for odds, find me the hardest hit ball in terms of exit velocity, and please message me on Discord. Okay. But yeah, that's what I got. I'll leave you guys. Have a good rest of your evening. See you over on Discord, and good luck with your picks. Peace.